Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not already, please stand for the arrival of Her Honour, the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, the Honourable Elizabeth Dowdeswell. Her Honour is accompanied today by Premier Doug Ford and Mrs. Carla Ford, and the Clerk of the Executive Council, Michelle D'Emmanuel. And please remain standing for the playing of the Vice-Regal Salute. Mesdames et Messieurs, veuillez vous y lever si vous pouvez pour l'arrivée du cortège officiel et veuillez s'il vous plaît rester debout pour l'interprétation du salut vice-royal.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. What a glorious day. I am Michelle D'Emmanuel, the Secretary of the Cabinet, Clerk of the Executive Council, and the head of our Ontario Public Service. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the swearing-in ceremony of the new Executive Council of Ontario. I would like to begin by recognizing that we are on the territorial traditional lands of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, and the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and which is now a home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. Today, Doug Ford begins his second term as Premier of Ontario. Together, we are here to witness the Premier reaffirm his oath, witness his colleagues take their oaths as members of the Executive Council and oaths of office, and participate in the ongoing acceptance of a democratically elected government. First, it is my pleasure, though, to invite Elder Gary Sue from the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation to provide a blessing.
Nakama Manitou, Shewase tu, Namkagewin, Wasaka Binjabam, Gwanishki Abigum, Kadeka Simwadak, Widabim Shanam, Widopnishnam, Ashapeshago, Pakade, Ashapeshago, and then down them. Welcome to the Treaty 13 land, underneath the Treaty 13 of the Mississaugas of the Credit. And the doorway is open, the doorway to understanding. And the First Nations people sing this song, and they say that all the nations of the world will hear it, so that they will know to come and look at the way that we are and the governments that we run, and so that we don't forget to remember the freedoms that the people who went to war, who made this place what it is, and the veterans that sacrificed their lives so that we could have a government that had that freedom to speak and to say the words that you have to say. They didn't give me a time limit, so I don't want to become an instant politician either. Big wish.
Thank you, Elder Sue. Next, it is my great pleasure to invite the Honourable Elizabeth Dowdeswell, Lieutenant Governor, to make remarks.
Premier Ford, incoming cabinet ministers, Elder Sue, distinguished guests, newly elected and re-elected members of the Legislative Assembly, public servants, friends, mes chers amis. It is my duty and pleasure to welcome all of you as we participate in and perpetuate a tradition of great significance to our province. J'ai le devoir et le plaisir de vous accueillir alors que nous perpétuons une tradition d'une grande importance pour notre province. These lands on which we gather, covered by Treaty 13, the Toronto Purchase, have been stewarded from time immemorial by Indigenous peoples, the Mississauga, the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, the Wendat, and today I pay my respects to the Mississaugas of the Credit. May the treaties, as enduring agreements between the Crown and Indigenous peoples, serve as guides on the long but necessary path toward reconciliation. Today, we gather in a noble and solemn ceremony. We gather with hope, grateful to be in the presence of our colleagues, our families, and our friends by our sides. This is a moment of considerable importance as our province works to rebuild from the legacy of COVID-19. The impacts of the pandemic have given us all a new perspective on the kind of society we are and perhaps the kind we aspire to be. Simultaneously, this global pandemic, changing geopolitics, including an unthinkable war, and the onset of climate change have underscored the fact of our global interdependence. These realities will certainly present you, the government, with many vital legislative tasks as we work to rebuild our resilience. And at a time when democracy around the world is under siege and even in retreat, we affirm the stability of our own. We take pride in it, and we will be vigilant and promise ourselves that we will never, ever take it for granted. Nous pouvons affirmer la stabilité de notre démocratie. Nous sommes fiers et nous promettons de ne jamais le tenir pour acquis. On June 2nd, the voters of Ontario decided that you, the executive councillors, and your fellow parliamentarians will together form the 43rd Parliament of Ontario. As Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, I offer my warm congratulations. En tant que le lieutenant-gouverneur, je vous offre mes félicitations. This morning, the Honourable Mr. Ford, as Premier, advised me of his intentions for the composition of the Executive Council. And very shortly, in my capacity as the Queen's representative in Ontario, I will formally approve them. As Ministers of the Crown, you will continue to advise me in the exercise of my constitutional powers and legal duties. And in turn, you will be accountable to the Legislative Assembly and through its members to the people of this province. It is now up to you to earn their trust and confidence. The swearing in of a government is therefore not an occasion for pageantry. Instead, we are focused this morning on the simple, straightforward, and deeply significant oaths that you will swear and reaffirm: to be faithful, to be honest, and on the responsibility that you bear to people who have entrusted you with the legislative tools to tackle the daunting challenge we face. Ontarians will be watching you with great investment and with trust that you will use these tools to the best of your ability to bring about an even brighter future for all. In this time of great potential for renewal, may you be guided by the words on the Great Seal of Ontario, Sapere Audi, the words meaning dare to be wise, and by the motto on the coat of arms of the Assembly, Aude Alteram Partem, hear the other side. And you may as well be inspired by Her Majesty the Queen, to whom you are swearing allegiance today. This year we celebrate her Platinum Jubilee, marking an extraordinary 70 years of steadfast service to Canada and the Commonwealth. Mr. Ford, you are the 11th Premier to serve during Her Majesty's reign. I wish you and your fellow members of Cabinet a most successful ministry. And I now invite the Secretary of the Cabinet and the Clerk of the Executive Council to proceed with administering the prescribed oaths.
Thank you, Your Honour. Before we move on to the administration of the oaths, we will have the presentation of the Premier's recommendation document that Her Honour spoke of. Earlier today, the Lieutenant Governor had the opportunity to meet with the Premier to receive formal advice on the appointments of the members of the Executive, Council, and Ministers responsible for various portfolios. Her Honour has indicated her intent to sign the recommended documentation. This document formally signifies her acceptance of the recommendations put forward by the Premier for the membership and portfolios on the Executive Council of the Province of Ontario. I will now present the recommendation document to Her Honour for her signature. Thank you, Your Honour. We will now proceed with the rest of the formal elements of this ceremony. I will first call upon Premier Doug Ford to come forward and reaffirm his oath as Premier of Ontario.
I, Doug Ford, swear that I will duly and faithfully acknowledge the executive powers and trust reposed in me as Premier and President of the Council and Minister of Intergovernmental Affairs of the Province of Ontario, so help me God. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations, Premier.
I will now administer the oath of allegiance and members of the Executive Council to the ministers as a group. Then, each minister will come forward to take their oaths of office. Following the administration of the oaths, Her Honour will entrust the Great Seal to the Minister of Public and Business Service Delivery. I would now like to ask all the members of the Executive Council to please stand for the oath of allegiance and member of the Executive Council. I will read the oath on behalf of the ministers. I do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, her heirs and successors according to law. I swear, to the best of my ability, I will serve honestly and faithfully as a member of Her Majesty's Executive Council in the Province of Ontario. I will be vigilant, diligent, and circumspect in the performance of my duties. I will speak my mind in council openly and honestly without partiality, fear, or favor. I will respect as secret all matters that may be discussed by the Executive Council in arriving at a decision of the Council, and not disclose outside the Council any fact pertaining to such matters. I will not discuss the decisions of the Executive Council outside the Council without the consent of the Executive Council, provided that I may discuss such decisions with members of my ministry staff if I deem it advisable. I will not disclose to any person outside the Executive Council any discussions or decisions related to conduct of a member of the Executive Council. Ministers, please now signify your acceptance by saying either "So help me God" or "I affirm." Thank you, ministers. Please be seated. I will now call forward the members of the Executive Council of Ontario in order of precedence to swear their oaths of office. Sylvia Jones becomes Minister of Health. In addition, Minister Jones is appointed Deputy Premier. I ask Minister Jones to please come forward.
I, Sylvia Jones, swear that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my skill and knowledge execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Deputy Premier and Minister of Health in the Province of Ontario. So help me God.
Congratulations again, Minister Jones. Victor Fedeli returns as Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade. In addition, Minister Fedeli returns as Chair of Cabinet. I would ask Minister Fedeli to come forward and take his oath.
I, Victor Fedeli, swear that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my skill and knowledge execute the powers and trust reposed in me as Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade of the Province of Ontario. So help me God.
Congratulations again, Minister Fedeli. Steve Clark returns as Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. I ask Minister Clark to please come forward to take his oath.
I, Steve Clark, swear that I will duly and faithfully, to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trust reposed in me as Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing of the Province of Ontario, so help me God.
Congratulations again, Minister. Monty McNaughton becomes Minister of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development. I ask Minister McNaughton to please come forward to take his oath.
I, Monty Gary McNaughton, swear that I will duly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Minister of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development of the Province of Ontario, so help me God.
Again, congratulations, Minister. Todd Smith returns as Minister of Energy. I ask Minister Smith to please come forward to take his oath.
I, Todd Andrew Smith, swear that I will duly and faithfully, to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Minister of Energy of the Province of Ontario, so help me God.
Again, congratulations, Minister Smith. Lisa Thompson returns as Minister of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs. I would ask Minister Thompson to please come forward to take her oath.
Okay.
right. Flip to yellow sheet. Got it.
I, Lisa Marguerite Thompson, swear that I will duly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as the Minister of Agriculture, Food, and Rural Affairs for the Province of Ontario. So help me God.
Congratulations again, Minister. Raymond Cho returns as Minister for Seniors and Accessibility.
I, Raymond Songju Cho, swear that I will duly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trust reposed in me as the Minister for Seniors and Accessibility of the Province of Ontario, so help me God.
Thank you, Minister Cho. Peter Bethenfalvy returns as our Minister of Finance.
I, Peter Anthony Edmund Bethenfalvy, swear that I will duly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the power and trust reposed in me as Minister of Finance of the Province of Ontario. Je, Peter Bethenfalvy, jure d'utiliser fidèlement et consciencieusement les pouvoirs et les confiances qui me sont dévolus d'exercer au mieux de mes aptitudes et de mes connaissances les fonctions qui me sont confiées au titre du ministère de Finances de la province de l'Ontario. Ainsi Dieu me soit en aide, so help me God. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Minister. Paul Calandra returns as Minister of Long-Term Care and as a Minister of Legislative Affairs. In addition, Minister Calandra returns as the Government House Leader. I would ask the Minister to come forward to take his oath.
I, Paul Anthony Calandra, swear that I will duly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trust reposed in me as Minister of Long-Term Care and Minister of Legislative Affairs of the Province of Ontario, so help me God.
Congratulations again, Minister Calandra. Doug Downey returns as the Attorney General. I'd ask Minister Downey to come forward.
I, Douglas Downey, swear that I will duly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Attorney General of the Province of Ontario, so help me God.
Congratulations again, Minister Downey. Jill Dunlop returns as Minister of Colleges and Universities.
I, Jill Dunlop, swear that I will duly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Minister of Colleges and Universities for the Province of Ontario, so help me God.
Congratulations, Minister. Mary Lee Fullerton returns as Minister of Children, Community and Social Services.
I, Marilee K. Fullerton, swear that I will duly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Minister of Children, Community and Social Services of the Province of Ontario. So help me God.
Thank you, Minister Fullerton. Congratulations. Parm Gill becomes Minister of Red Tape Reduction.
I, Parmjit Singh Gill, solemnly affirm that I will duly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as the Minister of Red Tape Reduction of the Province of Ontario. So help me God.
Congratulations, Minister. Stephen Lecce returns as Minister of Education. I'd ask the Minister to please come forward.
I, Stephen Francis Lecce, swear that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my skill and knowledge execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Minister of Education of the Province of Ontario. So help me God.
Thank you, Minister Lecce. Caroline Mulrooney returns as Minister of Transportation and Minister of Francophone Affairs. I'd ask Minister Mulrooney to come forward.
Je, Caroline Anne Mulroney, jure d'utiliser fidèlement et consciencieusement les pouvoirs et la confiance qui me sont dévolus et d'exercer au mieux de mes aptitudes et de mes connaissances les fonctions qui me sont confiées à titre de ministre des Transports et ministre des Affaires francophones de la province de l'Ontario. I, Caroline Ann Mulrooney, swear that I will duly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Minister of Transportation and Minister of Francophone Affairs of the Province of Ontario. So help me God, ainsi Dieu me soit en aide.
Congratulations again, Minister Mulroney. David Puccini returns as Minister of Environment, Conservation and Parks.
I, David Windsor Puccini, swear that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my skill and knowledge execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Minister of the Environment, Conservation and Parks of the Province of Ontario, so help me God.
Congratulations again, Minister Puccini. Khalid Rashid becomes Minister of Public and Business Service Delivery. I'd ask Minister Rashid to come forward.
I, Khalid Rashid, swear that I will duly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Minister of Public and Business Service Delivery of the Province of Ontario. So help me God.
Congratulations, Minister. Greg Rickford becomes Minister of Northern Development, and Minister Rickford returns as Minister of Indigenous Affairs. I would ask Minister Rickford to please come forward to take his oath.
I, David Gregory Rickford, solemnly affirm that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my skill and knowledge execute the powers and trust reposed in me as the Minister of Northern Development and as the Minister of Indigenous Affairs of the Province of Ontario. Thank you.
Congratulations, Minister Rickford. Prabmeet Sakaria returns as President of the Treasury Board. I would ask Minister Sakaria to please come forward.
I, Prabmeet Singh Sarkaria, solemnly affirm that I will duly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as the President of the Treasury Board of the Province of Ontario. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Minister Sakaria. Kinga Surma returns as Minister of Infrastructure. I'd ask Minister Surma to please come forward and take her oath of office.
I, Kinga Surma, swear that I will duly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as the Minister of Infrastructure of the Province of Ontario, so help me God.
Again, congratulations, Minister Surma. Michael Ford becomes Minister of Citizenship and Multiculturalism. I'd ask Minister Ford to please come forward.
I, Michael Douglas Ford, swear that I will duly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Minister of Citizenship and Multiculturalism for the Province of Ontario. So help me God.
Thank you, Minister Ford. Michael Kerzner becomes Solicitor General. I'd ask Minister Kerzner to please come forward to take your oath.
I, Michael Sean Kerzner, swear that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my skill and knowledge execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Solicitor General of the Province of Ontario, so help me God.
Congratulations, Minister Kerzner. Neil Lumsden becomes Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sport. I'd ask Minister Lumsden to please come forward to take his oath.
I, Neil Lumsden, swear that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my skill and knowledge execute the powers and trust reposed in me as Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sport of the Province of Ontario, so help me God.
Congratulations, Minister Lumsden. George Peary becomes the Minister of Mines. I'd ask Minister Peary to please come forward to take his oath.
I, George Peary, swear that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my knowledge, to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers of trust reposed in me as Minister of Mines of the Province of Ontario, so help me God.
Congratulations, Minister Peary. Graydon Smith becomes Minister of Natural Resources and Forestry. I'd ask Minister Smith to please come forward and take his oath of office.
I, Graydon Smith, swear that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my skill and knowledge execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Minister of Natural Resources and Forestry in the Province of Ontario, so help me God.
Again, congratulations, Minister Smith. Stan Cho returns as Associate Minister of Transportation. Congratulations again, Minister Cho. Michael Parsa becomes Associate Minister of Housing. I'd ask Minister Parsa to please come forward. Congratulations, Minister Parsa. Minister Tabolo returns as Associate Minister of Mental Health and Addictions. I'd ask Minister Tabolo to please come forward to sign his oath. Congratulations, Minister Tabolo. Charmaine Williams becomes Associate Minister of Women's Social and Economic Opportunity. I'd ask Minister Williams to please come forward to sign her oath of allegiance as a member. Congratulations, Minister Williams. I would now like to ask Her Honour, the Lieutenant Governor, in her capacity as the Keeper of the Great Seal of Ontario, to entrust the seal to the custody of the Honourable Khalid Rashid, Minister of Public and Business Service Delivery. Minister Rashid, please come forward to join Her Honour and accept the Great Seal. I'd now like to ask all of our ministers to please stand. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the new Executive Council of the Province of Ontario. Thank you, ministers. It is now my great honour to invite the Premier of Ontario, the Honourable Doug Ford, to come forward and deliver his remarks.
Look at that. You did it. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, well, that's great. Thank you so much, everyone, and good morning, Ontario. I just have to point out, I think a lot of you were here 4 years ago, and it was about 120 degrees, and thank goodness we have a little breeze, but we'll get through this quick, and everyone can have an enjoyable weekend. Thank you very much for the very warm welcome, and thank you for being here today. It's truly... It is truly humbling to see so many people here. I'd like to begin today by thanking Her Honor, the Lieutenant Governor, Elizabeth Doddswell, and my Secretary of Cabinet, Michelle D. Emmanuel. Both, I always say both are all-stars, absolute champions. So thank you, Your Honor. I bet Your Honor's never been called a champion before, but thank you. I call Michelle a champion every day. I'd also like to welcome the many dignitaries, friends, and family who have joined us today. To my new and returning Cabinet colleagues, as well as every single member of Provincial Parliament, regardless of what party you belong to, congratulations. Putting your name on the ballot is no small task, but by doing so, by stepping up and stepping forward, you've made our democracy stronger. Thank you. And in fact, there's never been a more important time for our democracy to remain strong, because now is the time to unite. Now is the time to work together. We're ready to unite behind a positive vision, ready to unite behind a plan for the future of Ontario. And I truly believe, I feel it in the bottom of my heart, that this is a government that must represent everyone. And as long as I am Premier, this government will strive every day to represent all of our great province. Our blue-collar workers, our labour unions, entrepreneurs and innovators, drivers and transit riders, seniors and young families, newcomers looking for good work and the Ontario dream, urban, suburban, and rural communities in every region of the province. This is Team Ontario. And now more than ever, we need unity, because the road ahead, it won't be easy. Big challenges lay on the horizon across Canada and around the world. Inflation is driving up the cost of living to levels we haven't seen in decades. And with an uncertain global economic climate, we're competing against other jurisdictions for every job and for every dollar of investment. But when we stand together, when we unite, we're absolutely unstoppable. Our great province is blessed with every advantage. We have critical minerals that the entire world is after. We have the most talented, hardworking people, and most importantly, we have a positive vision. We have an ambitious plan. And friends, when you consider the scope and the ambition of our government's plan, it will take all of us working together to succeed. That plan starts with rebuilding Ontario's economy. Over the past 20 months, working with our federal and municipal partners, our government has secured over $14 billion in new investments in Ontario's auto sector, including $5 billion to build Canada's first large-scale electric vehicle battery plant right here in Windsor. With these investments, we're once again putting Ontario on the map as North America's capital for auto manufacturing. And as we do, we're working with Indigenous partners to build the road to the Ring of Fire, to bring prosperity to northern communities and unlock the full potential of our economy. We're investing in the future of clean, green steel, helping to secure thousands of jobs in Sault Ste. Marie and Hamilton, while giving Ontario another competitive advantage to help attract more investment. We're investing to connect every part of our auto supply chain. Minerals from the north will fuel batteries built in Windsor, and automobile assembly plants in Oakville, Ingersoll, Alliston, Cambridge, Brampton, Woodstock, and Oshawa, the cars of the future will be built right here in Ontario from start to finish. From minerals to manufacturing, right here by Ontario workers. And friends, our plan will build highways, transit, and other key infrastructure. Over the next 10 years, Ontario will grow by more than 2 million people. Across Ontario, congestion is only getting worse. It's leaving drivers trapped in bumper-to-bumper traffic with mums and dads desperate to get home. It's also costing our economy billions and billions of dollars a year in lost productivity, with goods stuck on overcrowded highways instead of getting to the market sooner. We can't afford to delay. We need to build, and we need to build now. That's why our government is building Highway 413 and the Bradford Bypass. That's why we are making the largest investment in public transit in Canadian history, as we bring GO train service to London, Niagara, and Bowmanville. And it's why we're building the all-new Ontario Line subway with construction already underway. And to the people of Northeastern Ontario, you have my word, we will bring the Northlander back to Timmins and Cochrane. Friends, at a time when Ontario is facing a historic labour shortage to a tune of 340,000 people short to fill the jobs we have, our government will never stop working for workers. We're leaving no stone unturned as we get more women and men into the skilled trades. We're providing high school students with real pathways to rewarding careers in the trades. We're expanding 3-year college degrees for in-demand careers and investing in union-led training centers. We're breaking down barriers and cutting red tape so newcomers can find good work in the trades to help build this great province we all love. And we will continue to work with the federal government as we urge them to increase the number of skilled workers that can immigrate to Canada each year. We have the jobs, the world has the talent. We need every woman and man who has the skills and experience to help build Ontario, to help build hospitals, highways, and transit, schools, and long-term care homes. It's all hands on deck. And as our province grows, as we welcome more workers, we need to ensure our communities keep pace with this growth. That starts with homes and houses. Today in Ontario, too many families are frozen out of the housing market. I'm a firm believer in tackling root cause. And the root cause of the housing crisis is supply. Simply put, we need to build more homes. We need to build more attainable homes. It's not a problem that will be easily solved. It will require bold solutions and all levels of government working together, including municipalities. But together, we can cut through the red tape, we can standardize processes, and speed up development timelines so more people, more families can realize a dream of home ownership. At a time when life is getting more expensive, housing isn't the only way our government is keeping costs down for families. We ended the cost of renewing license plate stickers. We eliminated roll tolls on highways 412 and 418. And a week today, on July the 1st, we're cutting the gas tax by another 5.7 cents. To offer families immediate relief at the pumps. That's on top of the 4.3 cents we cut earlier bringing a total savings to 10 cents per litre. Friends, serving as your premier, getting up each and every day, working for you has been the greatest honor, the greatest privilege of my life. I will never, ever take the trust you placed in me for granted. I will never stop working for you. So if you're a miner in the north who's out of work, I want you to know we're building the road to the Ring of Fire. If you've had to worry about your job at the local auto plant, I want you to know we're investing in the future of Ontario's auto sector. If you're a student who wants to work in the tech sector or the skilled trades, we will have a job waiting for you. If you're a newcomer with a degree who can't find a job in your field, we'll make sure you can get the credentials you need. This is what we're working for every single individual in Ontario, and this is what the Ontario Dream is all about. Friends, let's make the Ontario Dream a reality. Together, let's build Ontario. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to thank Kara as well. She's an absolutely incredible person. She organizes all this day in and day out, every event. So, Kara, you're a champion too. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll be stepping out in the crowd, saying hello to everyone, and get everyone on their way to the weekend. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you're not already for the playing of O Canada, and remain standing for the departure of the Vice-Regal Party. Veuillez lever si vous pouvez pour l'hymne national et veuillez demeurer debout pour le départ du cortège officiel. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming today, and a special thank you to the OPP Commissioner's own pipes and drum band who are playing for us today. That concludes our ceremony. Please enjoy the rest of the day, and welcome to the new Executive Council of Ontario.
Very good to have you back.